Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Direct thirsty Merc to a Mulled Wine concert that might quench their thirst. And speaking of such things and others, I'd like to make very welcome now the chair of the Paekakariki Community Board, Holly Ewens. Good morning and welcome to you, Holly. Hello, Holly. Oh, hang on, I haven't pushed one of me buttons. I was almost there, Holly, I swear it. Good morning to you.
Kia ora.
Lovely to talk to you. Rightio. And, I hear that something's happening at St. Peter's, or is it not happening at St. Peter's?
Well, at the moment, as most of your listeners will know, St. Peter's Hall is our prime gig venue, but it's getting a new floor, so it is closed for the month.
Wow.
So there won't be any gigs on at the hall. There are, however, other events in the village.
I imagine there's been a bit of dancing and knees up happening at St. Peter's Hall over the years. It's over 100 years old, isn't it, Holly?
Absolutely, and it's still got its original floor.
Well, there we go, you
longer.
see. There we go. And I imagine it's done very good service.
The Community Trust has worked very hard to get their funding up to replace this floor, so they've done a lot of work in that regard.
Bet they have.
I'd just like to say thank you to them.
Indeed, it sounds like quite an expensive proposition to me.
Yes, I can't remember the exact figures.
But significant. So what are we going to do in the gigs in the meantime if we have no St. Peter's?
Well, there's the Memorial Hall, and there's also the bowling club, but there's not just as many gigs as usual in the village for the month, really. But there are other sort of events on. So Sunday, we have a guide to housing models with the Urban Advisory and the Paekakariki Housing Trust. And if you are interested in the future of housing, particularly community-led housing, then I really suggest you come along. It's free, so it's funded from the Paekakariki Housing Trust. And if you're not familiar with the Urban Advisory, they do really engaging presentations and they've done some wonderful projects. So I would really get along to that. That's at Memorial Hall. On Sunday at 11 o'clock. You can bring a plate if you want to, but the Housing Trust will put on a small, morning tea and tea and coffee and things like that.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
You remind me of the old days, and I'm old enough to remember reading these notices out, and the equivalent of the community notices used to say, ladies a plate. In the old days. You'd never say that these days.
Blokes a plate.
Blokes a plate. Too right.
Yes.
Everyone a plate. But look, that's a really important initiative. And by the way, the Paekakariki Housing Trust has actually got out there and done it, haven't they? They have produced some housing. They'd love to do more. And it's wonderful to see the kind of organisation with practical experience teaming up with actually a pretty powerful partner. This Urban Advisory Authority. This is potentially a big mover in the game, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So they'll be covering community land trust, cooperative housing and co-housing. And it's also a real chance for Paekakariki. It's also valid for people in Raumati South because they can take this knowledge and then pass it on to their own communities as well. But it's a chance for Paekakariki to come together and vision what kind of housing suits us.
Yes.
I love this quote from the Urban Advisory, which is, the future of housing has to be determined by those making the houses their home. So community is incredibly important in my view. I do sit on the Paekakariki Housing Trust and I am a founding member of that trust too, so something that I'm personally quite passionate about. And with Wainui Whenua, if it goes ahead, we may have an opportunity with some land, but there's also, extra dwellings and things like that. So there are opportunities where sometimes you don't look.
Indeed. Could be very exciting times, but that's an exciting initiative. That's the Housing Hui. Now, did you say Sunday?
Sunday at Memorial Hall, which is the one on the parade next to Campbell Park.
And what time was it again?
11 o'clock.
11 a.m.
11 till 1, so it won't take up your whole day.
Okay. Now, and I mentioned Mulled Wine. There has to be a Mulled Wine concert coming up. Mary must have done it once again for us.
Absolutely. So that's the following Sunday, again at Memorial Hall. At the usual time of 2:30, so it's the kick-off of the new season. And congratulations to Mary, because I don't know how many they've had now, but they've had a lot of mulled wine concerts, which is just extraordinary. She's done a
It's
great
amazing.
job.
It's amazing.
So they're presenting Michael Andres, who's a pianist, and he's German, and I'd say get along to that. Again, you can find the tickets. They are available if you jump on to paekakariki.nz, there's quite a few places that you can get them. But you can, if you're not from Paekakariki, you can get them from Paramata and Paekakariki Fruit Supply and Milk and Ginger and Raumati and Moby Dickens Bookshop in Paraparaumu, and hairdressers and the Genoa shop in Mahara Place in Waikano. So she's got quite a good few options to be able to buy your tickets.
Absolutely.
And also got a special on too, so if you buy a season ticket at just $100, that's 5 concerts for the price of 4, including a gala performance.
Just extraordinary. And international standard entertainment. I don't know how she does it as well. So looking forward to that one.
She herself is quite an accomplished musician, so that probably helps.
That's an understatement for sure. Holly, who's also a very accomplished musician, by the way. Holly, thank you so much for joining us today here on Beach FM. It's been delightful.
Pleasure as
Once
always.
again, pleasure.
106.3 Beach FM.